Our tale begins in a little city in the English countryside called Alagoinha. Gabriela, a 13-year-old girl that had lived there her entire life, had a simple and uninteresting routine. This changes when the girl asks her mother, a mechanic, how to become a car. Her mother, in a very strange presentation, says to her that she needs two things: an engine and a pilot. The girl sneaks out during the night and goes on an adventure, trying to achieve her dream. On the way, she finds Ana, a short girl who decides to go on the adventure with Gabi. The two become really good friends. In the beginning of their adventure, they end up falling in quicksand. Luckily, a person called Laura the Explorer comes to save them. After getting to know each other a little bit, it is noticed that by coincidence, Laura the Explorer has a treasure map that leads to an engine. They join the two girls and accompany them to the engine. Gabi feels something for Laura the Explorer, but does not know what it is. Along the way, they pass through the Wild West, where the map is stolen and Gabi is challenged to a duel to get it back. Gabi accepts, knowing that the chance of losing is immense. Amazingly, Gabi wins and takes the map back. The three continue until they realize that a big storm is coming, and they need somewhere to spend the night. They find a farm and ask to stay there. They are very well received until the owners drug them and lock them in the basement. There, they discover that the owners are cannibals. Laura the Explorer is the first to be taken by the cannibals to be eaten. Meanwhile, Gabi and Ana manage to escape from the farm. At that moment, Gabi realizes that she was in love with Laura the Explorer and feels pain and suffering invade her heart. Ana tries to calm her down, but she can't, so she just tries to distract Gabi and focus on the mission, getting a pilot and an engine. The next day, they cross an abyss where they do dangerous parkour. They finally arrive at the place the map said the X is. They excavated the X, but there was nothing. Laura the Explorer had lied. Gabi was devastated, but when she saw a shooting star in the sky, she asked, "I would like to have an engine, please." Suddenly, it was possible to hear something in the distance, and it gets closer and closer. It was an engine called Marina, and she agreed to join them. Even so, Gabi was still sad because she wouldn't be able to participate in the Piston Cup, which would be the following day since she didn't have a pilot. When Ana tried to console her, Gabi saw that the girl that had always supported and helped her was perfect to be her pilot. Gabi asked and Ana accepted. The next day, they all returned to Alagoinha. There, Gabi asked her mother to turn her into a car. She tried and succeeded. Gabi, now Gabimóvel, goes to the cup and wins, starting her long-lasting career. After a while, Gabi began to lose more and more competitions, and her mental health plummeted. Marina and Ana began to notice how much Gabi missed Laura the Explorer. One day, they were at a bar, and the television showed an ad for the golden pudding, the best and rarest fuel that exists, and that there would be a chance to get it at a competition that was happening soon, of who could eat the most pudding. Marina and Ana thought this was a great opportunity for Gabi to get back her glory, and Gabi agreed. As Gabi looked around the bar, she saw Laura the Explorer, thought she was going crazy, but decided to go check it out, and it really was them. As both talked, Laura the Explorer said that they had joined the cannibals so that they wouldn't eat them, and later escaped. They saw that Gabi had fulfilled her dream and won the cup, and had been searching for her ever since. Gabi seemed to have forgotten about Laura the Explorer's past attempt at screwing them over. Laura the Explorer rejoins the team and they go through another journey, but they're acting weird. Ana swore that Laura the Explorer was trying to eat her, and they were seen concocting some kind of strange liquid. Gabi and Ana fight over Ana's accusations, and this weakens their friendship. Then they arrive at the competition. Gabi discovers that Laura the Explorer is also a competitor, felt betrayed, and apologized to Ana. Gabi won the competition, but Laura the Explorer managed to steal the golden pudding and get away. The team searched for Laura the Explorer and found them near a cave. There is an epic fight, and Laura the Explorer gives the liquid they had been brewing to Gabi. In a moment of distraction, Marina pushes Laura the Explorer inside the cave, and it crumbles on top of them. Laura the Explorer's potion turns Gabi into a cannibal, and she starts eating every car on Earth. And this made all car communities hide underground because they were all afraid of Gabi, and she even tried to eat Marina too. To prevent that from happening, Ana and Marina meet Gagarin on a hidden rocket launcher. The only way to save Marina from Gabi's hunger was to send her to space. Ana usually talked with Marina, that was in space, through radio, but one day they lost connection. The two of them thought that the other was dead. Meanwhile, Ana discovered that there are 2 potion books in the whole world. One is buried with Laura the Explorer, and the other is in another place. Ana goes through a journey to get this book. When she gets it, she makes an antidote. Unfortunately, the antidote makes Gabi be transformed into a person again. The world is pacified again, but Gabi feels extremely responsible for Marina's supposed death and all the cars that were damaged. The only thing no one knew was that Laura the Explorer, with their last strength, could get out of the cave alive. They were destroyed, but alive. When they left the cave, they found an old and big book with a note attached to it. Laura the Explorer was visibly stressed by that. A long time passed and Gabi was still a person. What she didn't know was that the antidote didn't transform her into a person again, just compressed all her car power into herself. Gabi really wanted to be a car again, but didn't know how, as she thought Marina was dead, and she couldn't have any other engine other than Marina. During vacations, Ana and Gabi went to a trip to the Mayan Empire, and Gabi begins to feel weird. Sometimes her hand moved without her wanting it to, or she shouted random phrases without thinking. Ana thought it was just because of stress, but things started to get more and more strange. Gabi began to leave the house in the middle of the night. One time, Ana followed her and saw her meeting Laura the Explorer. She asked about it discreetly the next day, talking about how Gabi had been dealing with their death. Gabi gives a perfectly reasonable answer, but Ana is still suspicious. She keeps following Gabi at night and notices that she is picking up apparently random pieces of metal and giving them to Laura the Explorer. When asked about it, Gabi denies everything, making Ana more suspicious. The next night, Ana grabs the metal piece from Gabi's hand and runs away. She tries hard to find out what it is, but she can't. Ana finally discovered that Gabi was possessed, so she searched for the oldest car community on the planet in the South Pole to get some help. There, she showed them the metal piece, and they were very scared. They told her a legend. Long ago, the most powerful car on Earth attacked all the other cars, wanting to rule them all. The other cars, after much suffering, created a weapon that could destroy any car. After defeating the tyrant, they broke the weapon into 15 pieces and spread them throughout the universe, but also made copies to leave on Earth, which worked as radios so the planets could communicate with one another. To avoid humans getting them, they were cursed, with a spell that only let cars pick up the pieces. Ana left and came back to Alagoinha. Most of the other planet's population had already been extinct, so Ana never thought much about her piece on the other planet. One day, the metal piece began to beep, and Ana heard a familiar voice saying, "Hello? Who is it?" It was Marina. Both of them talked, and Ana told Marina to come back because of Gabi's state. During Marina's journey, while she was lost in space, she landed on a planet habited by engines. After a time there, she was elected to rule the planet. On her planet, there was an old legend that talked about a car that was once possessed by a human. Because of that, a terrifying war started. On one side were the engines and car communities, and on the other there was the most powerful car in the world possessed by the human. When every car was almost dead, the engine of the possessed car managed to depossess it. The car got very weak and died, but with its last strength, it could kill the human. There were no other cars in the world, and the engine started to repopulate the planet. Knowing what happened to Gabi, Marina knew that she was the only one that could save her. But there was one problem. On the planet's legend, the car died in the end, and Marina couldn't let Gabi die. She didn't know what to do to save Gabi, but she went to planet Earth again. Ana rejoined Gabi to try to slow her down, and assembled an army of cars behind Gabi's back. Ana tried to talk Gabi out of it, but it doesn't work. An epic battle breaks out, but Gabi's strength is unbeatable, and Ana's team begins to lose. Then, a spaceship flew into the middle of the battlefield, and Marina and her army of engines come out of it. The tides turn, and Ana's army is nearly defeating Gabi. With the fear to be the last time they see Gabi alive, Ana and Marina hold hands with Gabi. Suddenly, they are teletransported to a completely white place. At one side, they could see a red ball floating, and on the other, a black one. There was also a figure of Gabi and Laura the Explorer. They were inside of her head. Ana and Marina managed to get Gabi back, and because Ana was there, Gabi didn't die like the legend said she would. Although Gabi was very weak, she destroyed Laura the Explorer. Ana went to their body and saw a book with a note on it. "This is your last chance." She took it and went towards Gabi to help her. As she was distancing, Laura the Explorer's body was lifted into the sky. Many things were destroyed, but the world was safe and the team was together again. Or at least that's what they thought. Laura the Explorer's body traveled through space until they got to a planet. Carried by two strong creatures, they entered a very big and dark room. They walked toward a giant throne with a figure sitting on it. With its strong voice, it said, "You failed." Very worried, Laura the Explorer started to beg for their life. "Just give me another—" They were beheaded. The strong voice said again, "Send the other one." The end. For now.